Welcome back to OpenLine. We are talking about some of the best programs out there to help veterans. They have won our Salute to Veterans contest. Happy to have with us right here on set Mac Haygood and Kevin Brooks with a veteran sportsman program that they started, and we talked about at the top of the show. We're also looking at some of the other great programs out there for veterans. Let's go back to the phones. Roger. Hello, Roger.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
I want to say I appreciate what you guys are doing. I think that's just great.
Thank you, Roger.
Are you a veteran, Roger?
I am 19, from 70 through 77. I was a military training instructor at Lackland Air Force Base.
Good. Very good. Well, thank you for your service. And it is great to see this, isn't it? It's great to see people stepping up and doing something for veterans.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Especially in the sporting industry.
Thank you for your call, Roger. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. We had a caller, and part of he was talking about just the need that so many veterans have to get help.
Right.
Something you picked up on is it's so hard for veterans to relax sometimes. They come from this high stress, high intensity sort of situation and environment, and they come back here and they can't relax.
Exactly.
Is that right? I mean, what about that? I'll ask you.
They have a hard time unwinding. You know, it's just like you said. I mean, it is hard for them to relax. Some have been in the battlefield out there. To come back to civilian life and to try and sit down and watch TV, it may not happen. I mean, they gotta get up and do stuff to keep busy. I don't know. I think downtime probably affects them a lot. You know, just being alone or sitting there watching TV or being alone, something like that. I think that'll probably affect them there too, because they get to thinking and they go think about yesterday, think about tomorrow, instead of thinking about right now.
Right. You don't. Yeah. You want to stay busy to some extent, but you also want to be able to enjoy the moment that you are in. And what you all are doing with your sportsman program, that's about living in the moment. But are you seeing that as well? They can't relax.
Yeah, that's a major problem. It took me years in my own lifetime to realize not everybody grew up like I did. I thought we were all the same, kind of a naive young person. And you realize not everybody had a daddy that fished and hunted and played golf and taught you how to do all these things, and I was very, very blessed. And once you begin to realize that and you go, well, many people weren't as fortunate as I. They haven't been taught how to relax. As silly as that sounds, you've got to learn what your passion is. You've got to learn what to get into, but you've got to try it. And if nobody shows you how to try it, you don't ever do it. Something as simple as fishing. We took a gentleman out the other day that watches every fishing show you can imagine. Has he ever been? Never.
Huh.
Okay.
I wonder why that is.
And it thrilled him. Well, that's part of PTSD. It's hard to take that first step. And you come up with all kind of reasons why you cannot do something, but the why you can is sometimes rather difficult. And to me, that's maybe the biggest thing we're doing, is saying, look, you can do this. This is if Kevin and I can do it, anybody can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you all you saw the need here.
Yes.
And you took that first step. When you started, I guess your background, you're both veterans. I talk about your background. You did a little bit. Your background.
But as far as my military, or,
right, military.
I served in the Navy from 1990 to 1994. I was on the USS Forrestal at the end of Desert Storm. We did about 8 months over there, and then we came back home. And fortunately, I was able to stay stateside for the rest of my term. So
there are people. You talk about the shift from Vietnam to now.
Right.
People say, thank you for your service. Let's say there are people out there that didn't serve. They want to help in some way, but they don't know. They don't know what to do.
Let me explain how simple this is, if I may.
Yes.
Okay. My wife and I go to the Titans football games. Now, unfortunately, all the seats aren't filled. But when those seats, when those games are broadcast, they've been sold. Anybody wants to send us tickets, we will find a veteran to take. It's that simple. Something as simple as that. You've had something come up, you're not going to go to the Charlie Daniels concert, send us your tickets. We'll take them. I guarantee you, we'll find the veterans to go. It's just not real tough. We're starting out with simple things, but we think we can expand rather quickly to things that we're going to find something for every veteran to do if we can. We may not make everybody happy, but we're going to try to do a lot.
So it's just an opportunity to get out and live in the moment.
Right.
And obviously you started with the hunting and the fishing, but it could be anything. So you're saying not going to a Titans game?
The first thing we ever did was take a trip to NASCAR. I'd never been, and it was a good excuse to go. It was on my bucket list. Whew. Folks, anybody that hasn't been to NASCAR, go. It's very impressive. The veterans, again, were so appreciative. It was just hard to understand. And the word that we're missing here, or that I have omitted, is camaraderie. And you brought it up. Just the chance to be around a group of people and talk about your experience, because there's a bond between veterans. It's kind of like family. You've been through a certain amount of the same thing, and you respect that person. He didn't do what I did. I didn't do what he did, but I respect what he's been through. Same as these people that have called on the line. If they're a veteran, we've all been through a certain amount of the same thing. And it's like a bond that's just automatic. I was trying to explain to my wife the other day, but veterans enjoy messing with each other. Once you find out you're a vet, oh, watch out, game's on. It's like your family, and it's a great thing. Would you agree?
Yeah. I like the age difference we had at the tournament. We had guys were 23 years old, and we had a World War II vet there.
Yeah.
And just a couple of.
It didn't matter.
Right. It's easier to talk about the experience with other people who have some idea of it.
And some of that is as simple as the language. The military, the government, it uses a lot of acronyms, and I've been out so long, a lot of them are hard for me to understand. But it's almost another language, and most of your veterans understand that, and it doesn't take long to pick it back up. So that's part of it too, I think. Even had I not been in the military, understanding rank, even something as simple as rank, it can be difficult for a lot of people. But I can tell anybody, if you don't know, just ask.
Right.
Just ask. It's no big deal.
And now, all right, I want to show another one of the stories that we aired, and another one of the programs that's being honored in our Salute to Veterans is one of our winners. And this has to do with someone who trains dogs to help veterans. So let's take a look at that, then we'll come back and talk about it.
This isn't a dog park or training ground for Westminster. This backyard in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, is a place of hope and healing.
There's survival on both ends of the leash. That's what I always say. Some of us say we're saving 2 lives at a time.
Ken Navenshoe is a pretty unassuming guy. He's also an Army veteran, and he's always had a way with dogs. He can teach them to do just about anything.
They may just learn medication, or they may learn turn lights on, but then we have ones that actually have to learn how to help make a bed.
As more and more troops return from war change, both physically and mentally, they're turning to Ken and his organization, Working Dogs for Vets. He pairs dogs in need of a rescue with veterans in need of help.
I look at that veteran, if they were a dog, what kind of dog would they be? If it clicks, it's a relationship right off the bat. If you got to force a dog on them, it's kind of like an arranged marriage.
His methods may be unorthodox, but they're working.
If she wasn't here with me, I probably wouldn't be here today. She keeps me from going over the edge.
Justin Shepard says his dog Abby saved his life. 15 months in Iraq left him depressed, anxious, and isolated.
When I go to the doctor's appointments or even out in crowds or even to the grocery store, it makes it easier to know that, concentrate on her versus everything around.
Kenny Yates knows the feeling.
Good girl.
He too battles with PTSD, something Marcy helps him with.
Heel.
She's also in training to help Kenny with his mobility.
I'll be able to use her like a cane. When I'm going up and down a grade or up and down stairs, she'll be there to help me, keep me stable.
Susan and Jethro have been joined at the hip for a few years.
If I fall and go down, he's attached. If I'm down, he will start barking. He will lay down beside me or at my head to protect my head.
Susan suffered a traumatic brain injury in Afghanistan. Sometimes she has trouble remembering things, and Jethro knows it. Even a television interview doesn't get in the way of this dog doing his job.
Well, like right now, you see he's barking, so he's telling me something's wrong. So he is alerting and trying to get me to go ahead and take my medication.
Training like this takes hours, anywhere from $1,400 to $2,000, and a highly trained service dog can cost upwards of $40,000.
Good boy.
Ken does it for free.
Sit.
His why is more of a why not.
When did people stop doing the right thing is what I would like to know.
Still, there are those moments that even for a tough guy, just doing the right thing simply leave a lump in your throat.
When somebody's wife calls to tell you their husband's back to work after not leaving the house for 6 months, where you find out that one of your guys who couldn't go out nowhere is now running for public office.
At every turn, this backyard is filled with stories of survival, from the four-legged to our proud warriors, all thanks to the man who brings them together.
When God blesses you, you just look up and say thank you, because you'll never figure out why it's happening. But if it's working, keep doing it.
So that's the latest, or the story that we've showed here. And what do you think about that program?
No, I think it's fantastic on so many levels. What he's doing for the veteran, the fact that he's saving dogs, the fact that you can take a dog and turn it into something useful, even though it's not a pup. To this gentleman, I'll tell you right now, I'd like to meet you, sir, and we're going to have a tournament next at the end of April, and I'd like to have you there. So.
All right, we're going to take a break. I want to talk more about the tournament, more about how people can help with what you all are doing, and again, kind of the secret to your success thus far. So we'll take a break. If you want to call, there's a number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.